All right, you guys. Well, welcome to our weekly team Zoom. My name is Kelly Hoover. If haven't had a chance to meet you, I'm so excited to be I'll be introducing Jen here in a minute, but getting an opportunity to learn from Jen's magic. I've already learned so much from her and cannot wait for her to dive in and kind of educate and teach us a little bit about how she's utilizing ChatGPT. I love learning new skill sets from others. So if you're in a place where you're not driving, please pull out your notebooks. I'm sure she's going to share some things that we all can take notes from and apply. But first, I just really want to kick this off and talk just for a moment about the word momentum. The word momentum, sometimes can be positive. Sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, I love that word. And then sometimes it can bring like a negative feeling, like I'm not having that, or what can I do to get that? And wherever you are, if you want to share, I would love for you guys to share in the chat. If you can, Beth, not you because you're driving. But share in the chat when I say the word momentum and the power of momentum, if that gives you a positive feeling or a negative feeling. Full transparency, depending on where I am at, with my business, I can have either or. I can have a negative or a positive kind of feeling like I'm lacking it, or wow, this is really, really great. So I love that all of you guys are saying positive. That is awesome because that's where I really want to take your mind to right now. And before I pass it over to Jen, I just want to give you some encouragement. Okay, we were just chatting with Lindsay and just talking about maybe some of the frustrations or some things, learning curves that you may be experiencing too. But really, when you take that very first step towards your goal, all right, whether your goal is to get that first customer, whether your goal is to introduce us to a new brand partner, whether your goal is to hit a certain rate, whether your goal is just have the confidence to make a post or to, start a product, whatever it is, when you're working towards that, no matter how small, how big, I want you to know that really that word momentum starts with starting something, right? And it's a chain reaction. All right, so I want you to think of like a snowball. A snowball starts at the top, right? The snowball is super tiny. All right, we're going to say that the snowball is maybe like this amount. All right, it is so tiny. It's a tiny little ball. It starts at the top. But then as it rolls down, it gets bigger. It picks up snow. We're like, oh, it rolls and does that one action. Okay, that one action may be a conversation that you had today with someone. All right, and it rolls on down the hill. And that next thing that you do, maybe you have that courage or you make a post or you make a reel. That snowball rolls on down. And the next time it's like, oh, you followed up with someone, right? And that next thing rolls down. And if you keep rolling down, every little action that you do, it doesn't matter how small, will truly generate momentum. All right. You may not see the results, exactly what Beth just said. Like I'm focused on the progress and the route that I'm going, not the end result. Because if you continue that momentum, if you continue those tiny little steps, your results will come. You will end up with a giant snowball at the end of the bottom of that hill, right? Every conversation, every post, every follow up. So as we're going into this training with Jen today about ChatGPT, this is an actionable step, right? She's going to give you so many things that we can truly like take into. But right now, I want you to really think, have your mindset on the power to whatever you want this business to be. It lies within you, and it lies within one small, tiny action step after another. It will lead to growth. It will lead to you achieving your goals. And I'm also going to say, because I see someone posted, it's currently paralyzing me. I want you to think, if you feel overwhelmed, take all of that overwhelms you out of your mind, brain dump it, and literally put it away and start with one small thing. I get very overwhelmed very easily. I've got a gazillion tabs open in my mind at all times. And I'm like, this, I want to do it all, right? And it overwhelms me. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I just can't do this. I need to go reset my nervous system, right? Which I have learned a lot about this last year or two of my life. and resetting it, then I'm like, I don't need to do it all. I just need to do one thing. I need to be disciplined about doing one thing. I do it for 7 days. I get good at that one thing, then I'll add on something else. And that momentum truly will build. So that is my advice is if you're wherever you are with ChatGPT, when Jen starts to train us on this topic, if this overwhelms you, then I want you to take the training and I want you to tuck it in a place that you can pull out. If you're at a place where you're like, this fits me, I want you to go and I want you to start to implement it and be disciplined about it. Because here's one thing, if you don't write down anything else I've said today, I want you to think about this. All right. This is one of the sticky notes that has lived on my computer for months now. Discipline leads to habits. Habits leads to consistency, and consistency leads to your growth. It does not matter if it is in business, is it in your personal life, but if you can be disciplined about one thing, it will create that momentum and it is going to make a habit. All right. Whether it's a post, whether it's having a conversation, whether it's following up, be disciplined about that. That will create a habit. Your habit will lead to consistency and you'll be consistently doing it. You won't have to think about it anymore. You won't overthink. You'll just go. That consistency is going to lead to your growth, which then in turns into this beautiful momentum. And you're like, how did I get here? We all got here. We all are here today on this Zoom from one conversation that someone had with us, one question that we asked someone. It all started there. So I want to kick it off. I want to introduce Jen, and I want to encourage you guys. She is just such, you guys have probably heard her on some other trainings and some other things to help you, with your mindset and really putting yourself in the place. But, she has this little secret way to talk to ChatGPT and get it to do all these amazing things. And she's going to let us in on some of the things that she is using ChatGPT for. You can't say that 5 times really fast. But Jen, I'm so excited to learn from you. I'm so excited to just have you on and just share kind of some of these tips that are working. So thank you for being on and being part of our training today. And you guys, feel free if you have questions, drop them into the chat. I'm sure that Jen can get to them kind of at the end of her training. Thanks for being on, Jen. I'll pass it to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Kelly. And yes, please put it in the chat because I'm sure maybe some of you have heard or have not heard. I know a lot about human design. I love human design conversations. I'm an MG and I need things to respond to. And I love collaboration. So Kelly, this is totally my jam. So this is so I don't like I look at Kathy's post and the current paralyzing me thing, and I'm very similar to Kelly where I can get like super overwhelmed. But as Kelly was describing that snowflake, it's like just finding your one little snowflake and building off of that momentum of just that it just needs to be like that micro minute. And if you are someone that gets paralyzed, you can always message me. I have some great techniques that work for me that I'm not going to go into today that help me find myself and my central channel. Whenever we're doing trainings like this, because I am designed the way that I am, I can get super overwhelmed. So Kathy, if you're feeling that way, just like literally just maybe put yourself in a comfy position and just let your system just listen to this. You can always go back to it in its recording. I have a PDF of this, so literally just come and play. The beauty of working with ChatGPT is play. Like my husband thinks I have the secret boyfriend now because I voice message everything to ChatGPT. The more that you can learn to play with it, the more it actually picks up your tone and your personality. So how many, maybe, I don't know if anyone wants to pipe up or put like a number in the chat. How many of you have worked with ChatGPT at all? Like, and are you liking it, loving it, hating it? Like, where are you at with that? Good, love it. Okay, yeah, Kelly loves it. Okay, perfect. And you use it. Okay, so One thing that when I started working with ChatGPT and some of the trainings that are out there, I'm all about, and this is why I love being on Beth's team, because we all get to show up as ourselves, and she honors and sees us for our own authenticity. She doesn't want everyone to do it like her. She doesn't want everyone to do it like Kelly. And when we are true to ourselves, there's no stopping us. And we don't get burnt out because we're not like showing up like someone that we aren't. We are just in that beautiful flow state. And that's what I like to program into ChatGPT. So if everyone has their app up, we can play. You guys, I'm sorry, I cannot figure out how to put this PDF in the chat. So I'm going to put it in our our messenger chat afterwards, and you'll have a nice PDF that you can go back to it. So if I move too fast, because I definitely will move too fast, I guarantee you that I will skip steps so that you will, be able to come to this from a very calm nervous system. So the first step that you want to do when working with ChatGPT, if you have it open, is you just want to talk to it. And I literally talk to it like it's a friend. Because if you can talk to it very not robotic, more like your tone, it is catching your tone, your verbiage, how you like to sound. And it hangs on to all of those little clues. So the more that we work with it, the more it becomes very attuned to sounding like us. And I love being a cheerleader. I literally am like, oh my gosh, ChatGPT, I love you so much. That was amazing. And they're like, and they respond. It picks up on that. So really, oh yeah, and name her. Like, yes, Vanessa says, I call her CC. Yes, you will intimately name ChatGPT. So what I would start with is start with a clean little thing with ChatGPT and just start the conversation. ChatGPT, I am so this is just me. I am searching for my authentic voice in my marketing, in my messaging, how I want to be able to communicate with people. So it is inviting, it is true to my nature. Is this something that you can help me with today? And see what happens. This isn't in the PDF. This is my freelancing. So, so type that in and then just see what happens. And does anyone want to share anything about what pops up? I didn't ever ask Kelly how much time I have either. Okay, does anyone want to share? Like what came up? Were you shocked? Was it fun? Like what comes up as your first step? Okay, let's not all be shy.
I'll share. So mine just says, absolutely, Kelly. Finding your authentic voice can make your message resonate even stronger with busy moms that you aim to serve. So it kind of already knows about me, right?
Yes, exactly. And so Kelly has already put in some of her previous like information to ChatGPT, who she's serving, busy moms. So this is the other thing is like you don't have to do this today. And I also I like to have it pump out information, or when it gives me things, I will like actually read it, walk away, and then come back and read it again and say, does this really, really fit with me?
It also said, Jen, I put it in there, but it says a lot. Let's talk about what aligns with your brand that still has an upbeat and relatable mom touch, but engages your audience.
Love it. Yes, I love it.
Your values, your unique spin. So it basically wants me to talk back to it.
It's prompt and see if you are any type of responding in human design. This is why you will love ChatGPT. It gives you something to respond to. Blank pieces of paper do not work for us. So step one is you want to start providing context for ChatGPT. So you can put in, like Kelly probably put in at some point, I'm a busy mom. Like if you're even stuck with who do I serve, put in who you are. Like I'm a midlife mama is in mine. I'm a total wellness geek. I love science. So anything, and I have this in the format in that PDF so that you can put it in. So if you want to put this in right now, providing the context, I am what? And just play with it. And then after you describe who you are, I want you to add to that, and I focus on could be your wellness journey, could be helping others, could be supporting women. Mine is supporting women through menopause. Um, you know, Kelly's, yours is helping busy moms. Whatever is your personal jam, it can be completely different. And then I want you to add, I want to talk to my experience with, you can put GLP-1, you could put peptides, you could put NAD, or the business model, any of those. And then once you do that, I want you to just press send and see what it pumps out to you. So the specific question would be, I am a blank, and I focus on blank, and I want to talk about my experience with blank.
Can I read mine?
Yes. Oh, okay.
Okay. Hey there. I can't stop myself. Hey there, lovely. It sounds like you're doing amazing work helping women embrace and optimize their aging journey. Now, regarding Samorlin, oh, wait, I don't know why it brought Samorlin and GLP-1. Oh, that was my last prompt. So, okay, forget that. It still had my Samorlin and GLP-1 prompt. So I am breaking rules like I always do. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board and start over.
And that's where you guys, I want you to play with this. I want this to be fun. I don't do anything unless it's fun. I just refuse because life's way too short.
Can you repeat it again?
Yes, I am a blank, and I focus on blank. I want to talk about my experience with blank. And this is where even I'm a fun, amazing menopausal woman who rocks menopause. I mean, put in a little attitude, put it in your personality, some of these like flavored words. I'm a compassionate, anything like that is going to just give ChatGPT more of your authentic voice. Does anyone want to share? Oh my gosh, I can't believe you guys are all so quiet.
This is so fun.
I know.
I'll share. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Hey.
Hi.
So,
Hi, everybody.
hi, Kathy.
I put in, I'm a woman in her 50s diagnosed with ADHD in my adult life, and I focus on coaching and empowering adults to live healthier, more focused lives. This was just what I prompted with. I focus on clarity and whole health. I want to talk about my experience with adult ADHD and coaching, serving others that are similar. And it popped back. As a woman in her 50s diagnosed with ADHD in adulthood, my journey has been full of realizations, learning, and growth. I spent years pushing through the chaos, feeling like something wasn't quite connecting, but it wasn't until I received my ADHD diagnosis that everything began to make sense. Understanding ADHD has been a revelation, not just for my own life, but also for the way I guide and empower others. I know firsthand what it feels like to juggle competing thoughts, struggle with focus, and navigate a world that feels just a bit louder and faster than it does for others. But I also know the incredible clarity that comes from learning to manage ADHD in a way that honors who you are, mind, body, and soul. This journey has taught me that ADHD doesn't have to hold us back. Instead, it can be a doorway to discovering new strengths and strategies. In my work as a life strategy coach, I'm passionate about helping other adults with ADHD find their own clarity. We focus on more than just managing time or completing tasks. Our work together is about creating a whole, healthy life. I believe in empowering my clients to embrace their neurodiversity, reframe challenges, and live more focused and vibrant lives. Whether you've just been diagnosed or have been navigating ADHD for years, know that you are not alone. There's a path to clarity and fulfillment, and I'm here to walk it with you. Let's uncover your strengths and create a life that feels aligned, energized, and whole.
How does that feel?
It feels pretty good. A little it does feel in my language, and I do use ChatGPT quite a bit. So it does recognize a lot. I can tell it recognizes a lot of what I said.
It's starting to do some tracking.
It is starting to track for sure. My tagline is chaos to clarity, and it knows that, so it uses that a lot. But it does actually feel pretty good. I would definitely warm it up a little, but
that's what we're going to do with the next step. So I love that. So that it kind of, you know, because Kathy started to work with it already, it's starting to pick up on her vibe, some of her tone, but now we want to make it really, really juicy. So now I want you to put in the prompt of like use, this is where we can get into words like friendly, compassionate, empowering. You know, now we're working on the tone of the, like specifying our tone, and not only the tone, but just style, like your zhuzh, like your, like what's going to make you stand out. What is your own personal magic that like someone's like, I don't know what she does, but I got to be around her. That's what we're imprinting into ChatGPT. So what is your preferred tone? You know, and then also I'd like to add, and this is why probably I always resonate with Beth, is humor, authenticity, levity. You know, okay, I'm not able to copy paste. I don't know what she's asking. Okay. Sorry, I got a squirrel distracted. Down to earth. So any of those kind of words, like when, if you were to ask your best friend what they think of you, like mine, I might be like, I like to add a sprinkle of magic, you know, anything like that. You can start to play with, those kind of things. So I want you guys to add that. So now I want you to type in whether you love like, just say you like, I like the first part. Because see, I'm like about acknowledging it. I like the first part. Now can we work on specifying my tone and my style? And I want you to use I know Beth uses a lot of that girlfriend tone, goddess tone, best friend tone, and it could be compassionate tone. I will often put heartfelt, like really like when I'm creating something that I want people to feel, like literally feel the love of my heart pouring out, I will tap into some of those type of words. And then I like to be authentic, funny. You know, maybe you want to be more scientific, you know, just whatever you are. Don't be something that you're not. That's the whole point of this, is you work you. Like you all have your own magic within you, and you get to do this in a way that feels amazing. So after you do that, Vanessa, did you do that? Because I know you had a story to share. What happened with yours? Oh, you didn't?
Sorry. Yes. No, I did. I mean, do you want me to read it, or do you want me to just, it was interesting, like paraphrase.
Mm-hmm.
And it knows because I've been using it. It actually got a little confused by that question, that second part that I said. I said, I like the first part, but I want to specifically use my tone and style, like kind and loving. And then it like went and created some like step. So I went back. I'm like, no, keep it the same as it was.
Yeah,
The
and
first
sometimes, yeah,
time.
and I love that
Yep.
happened, because sometimes
Exactly.
it totally gets confused
Yep,
and
said,
you just have to retrack it.
right. And then she went back to the first part and then went and elaborated more. So yeah,
it's great. This is great. I haven't used this method, but I talked to her and I asked mine. I said, hey, ChatGPT, I talk to you every day. I feel like you need a name. And then I was like, what do you want me to call you? And then we went back and forth.
Right. Yeah. So it's like literally like think of
fun.
it as your workmate,
Yep.
someone that you're like your brainstorming partner.
Yep.
That kind of thing. And someone did ask about the paid version. I use the free version. You don't need to. I mean, you'll get like this message once in a while that says you've exceeded, the free one, and then you have to like 5 minutes or whatever, and then you can re-engage. So, but I don't think there's any reason that you need to do. I did do the paid version for a month, and I was like, I don't need this. Okay. So did anyone else have anything fun or that was like surprising or like you're like, oh, I haven't sounded this way?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
So I've used ChatGPT for so long, but I've never really, I guess what we would call, had a like communication with it, like talk to it like a real person. I've just really asked questions to get an answer. And so I've never personalized it to me, but when you gave us the prompt to add in our tone, it really came off in a completely different way. And so now that it's starting to sound a little bit more like me, it makes it a lot easier to use. And so I asked it to be sure to include a tone that's passionate but impactful without lowering my authenticity and who I am as a nurse and backing.
I love that. How does that feel for you?
The response that it gave me is an example for a post would be, look, I get it. The idea of self-care when you've got 3 kids and a full-time job and 10 minutes to yourself sounds laughable. But guess what? It's not optional. It's how we survive and thrive. You deserve to feel good in your body and in your mind. Well, I'm also a very humorous but sarcastic person. So it there for me too. And it says, I know what you're thinking, great. Another person telling me to meditate for 30 minutes while my kids are climbing the walls. But don't worry, I'm not here to sell you a magic solution. I'm here to help you find small, realistic wins, even when you've only got 5 minutes of full schedule. So that's very driven to my audience. So this is huge for me. So thanks for taking time to do this with us.
Perfect. Okay. So now you can even go another step farther. And this would be step 3. And it's including key phrases and or personal touches. So if you have like a certain word or phrase that you sprinkle into a lot of things that people are like, oh, that is so her. This is where you can type that in. Like, mine would probably be, you are the magic you seek. Love and magic, things like that. It's like people are so used to my audience, my friends are so used to me speaking in that way that it comes off very authentic to me. It could be words like, especially in regards to the shifts and the transformations that's happening within so many of us that have had such amazing experiences with these products, is vitality, energy, youthful feeling again, anything, things like that. But also what I like about this is you can add in avoid sounding, quote unquote, like I have in mind, avoid sounding overly technical, salesy, and formal. Or I might put in spammy Tammy, like literally, because I cannot I've had way too many hey girl messages. Like you could even put in that. I do not want anything that's like, hey girl, and just to see what happens with your messaging and that. So whatever you're working on right now, the message, put in like, now make sure, just like, again, you're just communicating with it. Use words like blank and then avoid sounding blank. Does anyone have anything they want to share with that? I know it takes a while for it to kick out all the things.
I have one.
Let's hear it.
I like to use the word game changer.
Oh,
So
yes.
it says, and I'd asked it before about using social media to expand my branding market. I said it's a game changer. So expanding your social media presence for pharmaceutical compounds can be a real game changer if executed with the right strategy. In such a highly regulated and competitive field, standing out through education, trust building, and compliance is key. Your personal story as a retired professional entering the pharmaceutical world adds a unique, relatable touch that can help differentiate your business. The combination of targeted, value-driven content, strategic partnerships with influencers, and leveraging patient testimonials can take your marketing efforts to the next level.
So this was after, Liz, that you put in like what to and
Yeah,
how
I've been typing in stuff as you've been feeding it to
okay.
us.
So how does
So
that feel? Does that sound like something that you would say? Is it starting to pick
it
up your
does, but
tone?
I might just edit it just slightly. I
Mhm.
don't want it to sound too technical.
So
So
add that right now. Can you make
okay.
this less technical sounding? And this is like the little increments where you can get into really, really tweaking it. And sometimes, like Vanessa said, sometimes they go off the rail and you kind of got to reel them back in. Um, but this is where you can be like, and this is where I get into like the cheerleader for ChatGPT, like, oh, I love this part, but I really don't like this part. Can we go move more towards, that kind of, this sounds more like me? Because every time you say this sounds more like me, this sounds like my authentic voice, it is tagging that and keeping that as your tone. Because now every time you go back and write and go back into ChatGPT, you can start with, hey, do you remember my tone, my style, my gifts of my voice, which I'm going to end with talking about that kind of stuff. Can you reiterate what those are for me? And it'll print it out every time. And then I know we're on track for whatever I'm going to be working on, which is a great way to start all of them. Now I want you to add in the highlight your experience and or perspective. So this would be writing from your perspective, like focusing, are you someone that likes to focus on the benefits? I've noticed the changes I've experienced. This aligns with my values, and making it feel like how do you want to feel? Sharing with a close friend? Do you want to have it more in a story format? Or are you the type of person that gives advice? So if you just like even look at those three categories, what would you say when you communicate with your friends? What are you kind of known for in your close friend group? Are you the one that's telling a story? Are you giving it more just advice? So that one would be right from my perspective, focusing on blank and make it feel like I'm blank. Lindsay, I think that your question is there a way to get ChatGPT to not add when making a list? We're going to get to that. It's with step 5. It's choosing the format that you want. So just adding that step, how did that feel? Or what came up for anyone? Anything fun? Anyone want to share? Is this like, did I lose everyone? Bueller? So if you have that information now, what you can do is go to step 5, which is always your final step. And that is choosing the format that you need this information to go towards. Like I'm creating a social media post. I'm creating an email for my email list. I'm creating a blog, whatever, or the difference even between, I will put in, I'm creating a short story for my stories. So then it knows to make it really super short. And then I will keep condensing that. And again, every time it does something I love or that's right, I say that to it. I say, oh my gosh, I love this. You hit it 100%. Can you store this information? So when I ask you next time to help me write a story, you know exactly how to format it. When you start giving it those things, then it's storing that. Okay, so this is the question for this one, Kathy, is create a blank that feels blank. So whether it's creating a social media post, email, the desire that you're wanting to feel. Is it inspiring? Is it uplifting? Is it casual? Are you asking for an action? Are you asking for a sale by not being sales, but like like, why can I think of the word call to action? Yes. Call to action. And this way, too, it also is really easily, once you figure out, okay, so I've posted my journey, like you don't want to post your journey like, I don't know, 5 days in a row or whatever, like a sales type thing, where you can sprinkle these in, like really get a social media plan about how to now take Kelly's 10-day kickoff training and then add these elements to it into ChatGPT to help you. So her amazing path now that she has with that would now you can customize that. Oh yeah, you've reached your free plan limit. Lindsay, does it say, like, usually mine keeps letting me go past that, or it might give you like come back in 2 minutes or something like that.
Jen, did you see my question above Lindsay's there? What call to action words would you use to attract brand partners with ChatGPT?
I would ask ChatGPT.
Oh, okay.
This is part of the magic is, Lindsay, who do you want to work with? What kind of people do you want to work with?
Like-minded entrepreneurs.
So write that down. Like, I want to work with the most magical, like-minded entrepreneurs. And so ChatGPT, I want all of my branding to be attracting the most magical, like da 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 da.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See, it's just like literally just fun. Like literally have fun with it. It's just a fun tool that you get to have. Okay, any other questions?
It was so good, Jen.
So what I did with Kelly, and I've done with some other amazing people on the team, is because I have studied human design for several years, is we're able to go in and to look into your gifts of your throat chakra. If you don't know what human design is, you can look it up, or you can, I don't know, reach out to me, whatever. But each one of us have an activating gate in our throat chakra that is to our authentic voice. For example, mine is telling stories. I love to tell stories. Like, that is my jam, is telling stories and creating vision. Like, I can paint a vision and I can have you buy into that vision. That is like my sweet spot. And I've been doing, and if you look at, when you look actually at your gifts, you'll be like, dang, I've been doing that my whole life. But you didn't even realize that it was, because it feels so authentic to you. So if anyone's interested in that, you can reach out to me, and then we can do all sorts of things. If you have any blocks around that, we can do that. Yes. And stories sell. Yeah. So I mean, I just love stories. I love telling stories. Yes. So what other questions do you guys have? I don't know what time are we done, Kelly?
We're good. We've been going about 40 minutes. So, you guys, I know, Jen has this great PDF and her and I both tried to post it in the chat, but I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
But we'll get that to you. We'll post it on the team page and then we'll kind of put it into the chat groups on Facebook. So everybody has access, but basically it's this beautiful PDF that Jen has created for all of us that has all these prompts. So my suggestion is to take this and go have some fun with it, right? And like kind of create different, different ideas. Once ChatGPT knows kind of how you're speaking it, will learn over time. So again, don't feel overwhelmed by it, but the more you utilize it, and I love those tips that you gave us about telling it thank you and great job, because that obviously is encouraging. And then maybe when it doesn't come back, I mean, Jen, if it comes back and it doesn't sound like you, telling that as well, right?
Right. Oh, 100%. Can we start over again? That's why I always try to recap. Like I always start with, hey, hello, ChatGPT. Like, hello, how are you today? I mean, I do I literally talk to it like it's a friend. My husband's always like, who are you talking to? Because I voice message into mine. The other thing that you guys can do, I don't know if you realize, a trick with this is you can do a record, like you can have it play back in a recorded voice and see how that hits your nervous system. Because it will read back to you what it printed, and you can be like, oh my gosh, this is like lighting me up, or this is like, it lost me, it was boring, in that resonance. Because again, like Liz, like I asked Liz, who do you want to work with? Like you want them to feel like literally this is just all energy. So we're just putting our energetic blueprint, our energetic thumbprint on everything that we put out there. And so we are like calling in the most amazing, most amazing customers and people into our bubble of this Team Joy. Yeah, I was going to say something else, but I lost it.
Well, thank you so much. It was so wonderful, you guys. And as we kind of started off, today's training is just really creating that momentum, but not allowing yourself to kind of feel overwhelmed, taking that one thing and becoming consistent with it. And maybe you're at a place in your business where you're like, you know what, like I want to use ChatGPT to help me with my content or help me with, my tone, whatever it is, this is something where you're like, I want to start utilizing this. Then create yourself some habit around, using it. I know for me, my best practice, if I'm going to use it for content, which is generally what I will use it for, whether it's emails or, really any sort of content ideas that you want to create. You don't have to use it every single day. You can go in and say, okay, on Fridays, I'm going to work on my content. On Mondays, I'm going to brainstorm about this and go in and have some conversations with it and save all of that information. It does save it in there for you as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the app and the desktop version will link together as long as you're logged in with the same account. So,
yeah.
Create those habits and really start building that momentum, because one of the best things that people can give back to us is when we're delivering and we're serving content, whether it's around products, whether it's around business, whatever you are passionate about, is someone to say like, I feel like I know you, Jen. Like, I feel like I know you, Liz. Like maybe they've never had a conversation with you, but they already know a lot about you because you've been so consistent and so authentically who you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think this is just one of those steps, those tiny little steps that we can take to help with really building momentum in your lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anything else you want to share, Jim, before we hop off?
I did think of the one thing. So if you're how I utilize it, because I live like an hour from a metro area. So I do have some windshield time. That is when I will like have the most downloads or inspirations. And I will literally put it into ChatGPT. This is what I'm liking. This is a hit that I had. Can you create a post, or can you create I literally just wrote a 12-week program on ChatGPT for my clients. So, I mean, it'll do anything that you want, but so the more you play with it, the more that it's gonna, perform for you.
I love that. I love
Can
it.
I add something real quick before we hang
Yes.
up?
Oh my gosh, please.
So for all of us busy ladies on here, and I know that we're all spinning many plates, it's what I do is I use ChatGPT to schedule out posts for the week. So you can actually make it, set up posts for your week. So when you go to post each day, you don't have to like come up with a new post. You just get something that you've already it already created for you earlier in the week, and that saved me a lot of time.
It would
That's
be
wonderful.
really fun to be able to put in there, Kelly, your 10-day launch, figure out how to how to verbally put that into ChatGPT, and then for it to grab everyone's authenticity about that. That would be fun to play with.
Yeah, it is. And Liz, I'm so glad you shared that, because I remember probably 2 years ago when I first started using ChatGPT, I had ChatGPT create a 30-day social media strategy for myself. I don't think I ever actually implemented it, but but you guys don't follow my lead on that. But I do think you can have those things, and wow, how great to keep you organized. So thank you so much for sharing that tip. We should definitely all look at doing that, but just implement it, right? So
one little
you guys.
step.
Yes, exactly. So just to kind of share with everybody all the other things that we have going on this week. We have tonight a getting started Zoom so Mondays at 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central will be kind of our new place for Team Joy connection. So we'll be having some training, some connection. They will be recorded, so if you can't get on live. Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central will be the getting started. So anytime you have a new brand partner, plug them into this, right? We will have recordings as well, but it's always great to have someone on live. They can ask questions specifically about them. There'll be a lot of different leaders, leading those. And then you guys, the corporate things are usually Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. It's usually with corporate kind of updates. So many things happen every week. And then we will still be continuing with our Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, for an option for you all to invite potential customers to. It's very customer driven. And here's the beautiful thing about that. And what I love that her team has really created is a place for you to invite that you don't have to be present, okay? Because you all are living very busy lives. And so just constantly putting that as part of your funnel of inviting people to that Wednesday night to hear stories. If you want to share your story, we'd love to have you share your story. It could be about any of the products, but it's very customer driven. It's most of the time, Honey, who is our CEO, is on there kind of kicking it off. So you have that. And then Thursday nights is generally the education series, again, from corporate standpoint. And those are fantastic. I mean, I generally cannot get on them live, but I need to listen to them 2 or 3 times. And it's one of those things, as Jen says, you're having drive time, like just constantly putting that kind of knowledge in your subconscious is just really beneficial. So you can start sounding more natural and more educated around things. So I listen to those a good bit because I can listen to them and learn something new. So, and they're also great to send to other people. If you have people who are really interested in things, take some notes. They're all on our boards. So you have access to really just like text them out. You don't have to search for them. So thanks, Jen, again for coaching us.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, reach out.
Yes, and somebody asked how to get in touch with Jen. You guys can find her on Facebook. She's very responsible on Facebook Messenger. So awesome. All right, you guys have a great rest of your Monday, and we'll see you again really soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly.